As of a few months ago, we only knew of one person in the area who had Google Glass.
That beta tester swung by our building, and he couldn't help but draw a crowd. People were peppering him with questions about the Eyeware.
Yeah, but are these things worth all the attention they're getting? Here to compute this, Thor Schrock from Schrock Innovations.
We're going to pepper you.
We are going to pepper you.
There we go.
I've tried those things on, and there's an adjustment. There's a little bit of a learning curve.
Yeah, a little bit. It's not bad.
What are your initial thoughts?
Well, you know, first off, Schrock applied to the beta program about a year ago. And at the time, they were not business owners. They weren't interested in business owners. They wanted to get people. Now, I got an email on Monday that we had the privilege to purchase them if we wanted to, and so I went ahead and did it Monday, and they arrived on Tuesday. So it was really quick. They told me 5 to 7 days, and they arrived the next day.
So what is Google Glass? I don't want to assume everyone watching is familiar with the technology.
All right. Basically, what this does is it puts a 4-inch screen above, just above the field of vision of my right eye. And you know, a lot of people, including myself, when these were first announced, it was a little spooky, you know, because it has the ability to shoot video, it has the ability to shoot pictures. It's all voice command, so you tilt your head back like this to activate them. They come on, and you say, "Okay, Glass, take a picture," and it just did.
Yeah, and I don't know if people could hear that, but it dings. There's a little ding.
Little ding. But and it's not like a cell phone. This is what's weird. You know, with a cell phone, you're used to framing up your shot and pushing, take a picture, you know. With Glass, if you try to frame it up, it just gives you a wacky looking picture because it literally takes a picture of whatever you're looking at. So I was looking at Mike, so I've got a picture of Mike. Mary was not in the picture.
But it detects exactly where your eye is to a fraction of a degree to know.
Yeah, well, it does that, and also it's where you turn your head and what you're looking at. So you know, it's kind of weird because my daughter's first birthday party was on Saturday, and I said, well, let me shoot a video and share it on Facebook, which was really easy to do.
You shot it with those?
Yeah, with these.
So what's the quality like?
The quality is pretty good. It's good web quality. I mean, it's got 12.5 gigs of storage in the glass itself. So
not a lot.
Not a lot, but enough to shoot videos and things like that. It has an optional earbud that you can put in your ear, but I'm deaf in one ear. And so I don't really like to walk around.
I did not know that about you.
Yeah, a little fact you learn. I don't like to walk around with an earbud in my ear because I can't hear anything going on around me.
What the quality, is it comparable to an iPhone? Is it that?
Yeah, it's comparable to a cell phone video or something along those lines.
So how much does it cost if you're invited to be an explorer?
If you have the privilege of becoming an explorer, the cost of the glass runs $1,500. So it's definitely not a consumer grade. It's not priced for consumers at this point. You know, honestly, people say, you know, Thor, if you weren't this tech guy, if you didn't, you know, have a TV segment and a couple radio shows, would you have bought them? And I'm probably not, to be honest with you. It gives me a great excuse to buy them. And you know, we talked about the Galaxy Gear watch that I had. This basically does the same thing. It's got a bone conduction microphone back here. So one of the best features about Glass is, you know, baby's screaming in the background, TV's on, somebody texts me and it pops up on the screen. I can say reply and send a message back, and it picks up the vibrations on my skull rather than the audio of my voice. And so that way I get a perfect text message. The only thing it doesn't deal well with is wind, I've found over the last couple days.
We've had plenty of that.
There's 65-mile-an-hour gusts. It's hard.
Is that the only thing that annoys you, or are there other things that if you had the chance to get back to Google and say, these are my recommended fixes, what do you think?
First thing is, I went to Hy-Vee yesterday to pick up some, or on Saturday to pick up some stuff for my daughter's party that my wife needed.
So you were wearing these in Hy-Vee?
Little basils. Yeah, I just wore them into Hy-Vee, just whatever. And you know, people will look at you, and they'll look away, and they'll look at you again, and then they'll avert your eyes. You know that uncomfortable feeling that some people get when someone's in a wheelchair or something? They do that. They look away and they won't look at you. I don't know if they think I'm filming them. You're not that interesting. I'm not filming you. You know, it's not. I don't walk around filming everything, because the other thing you have to think about here is the battery. On a full charge, it will go just about all day long with normal usage. One of the other so what I don't like about it is literally every single employee at Hy-Vee pulled me aside in the frozen section, in the bakery section, in the you know.
They wanted to talk about it.
Can you tell me about that? So I'm hoping by doing a segment today,
you can answer everybody's questions.
Maybe I can answer all.
Save
coming
some
into the
time
building,
down the road.
Just walking down the hall, people were looking at me in the building here, and a couple people asked me, "Oh, well, what do you think?" I'm like, "I'll tell you all about it on the segment."
Well, they're pretty popular. So any idea right now? Google's still they're beta testing.
There's only about 100 apps available for them, and the only app out there that looked like it was even worth downloading, which I haven't downloaded yet, but was an app called Blackout, and what it's quote unquote a battery saving app, so that when you're shooting a video, it turns off the eyepiece, because you can see in the eyepiece when I'm doing something on it. You can see a light in there. And so people know when you're shooting video. But Blackout shuts that screen off to save your battery, of course. But one of the things I love about them, though, is driving directions. because I did a test and I was driving to my Lincoln Service Center. So I said, okay, glass, get directions to Schrock Innovations, Lincoln, Nebraska. I didn't give it a street address. I gave it a destination name. It found the location, navigated me there, and whenever it came up on a turn or something like that, it would just pop up over my field of vision and tell me, turn left in 100 feet.
The map wasn't there the entire time.
Not the entire time.
Because that's what a lot of people are concerned, that it's a distraction, and that when people are driving, there was even a case where a gal was pulled over in Florida or someplace for wearing them.
Yeah, she was exonerated though.
Okay.
Yeah, but
so do you think there's a case, like, are they distracting?
There are a couple times, what I would suggest is if you first get them, do not try to use them in a moving vehicle when you're driving, until you know the commands, you've internalized the commands, because even with me using them, it took me a couple days to really get to the point where I wasn't having to close one eye and read the menu options. And stuff. My 7-year-old son put them on, and he's like, I gotta get me a pair of these. And I'm like,
Right, at 7.
no, kids.
So, so what do you think after wearing these 5 days or so? What do you think? Is this going to revolutionize these smartphones? And do you envision a day where everybody's wearing these things?
Is this the future?
There's a couple technologies that Google Glass hinges on. One of them is voice-activated technology. So as you can see, I can turn the glass on by tipping my head back 30 degrees and looking down and saying, okay, glass, and it comes on, and I can do whatever I want to do. It also has a touchpad on the side that allows me to cancel and turn off the glasses or move through menu options. You can browse the internet, but keep in mind, you're looking at a 4-inch screen out of one eye. You know, I mean, you're not going to be able to read. There's not a pinch and zoom. So until the voice technology allows you to automatically do stuff with it, it's got a little ways to go yet. But I have to tell you, for driving directions and text messaging and answering phone calls when your phone isn't handy or your hands are occupied, like with a baby, they are amazing. And the baby doesn't even know what to think of them. Sunglasses she'll grab at, but she doesn't even know to grab at these.
Thor, we got to go. SchrockInnovations.com is a website. Learn all about Schrock Innovations.
Thanks,
Thor.
Thor.
Thanks for your time.
Thanks,
Really
guys.
informative. We appreciate your time.
stuff.
So tomorrow, the author of that book, here,
Let me get that.
I know, it's out of reach. My arms aren't 6 feet long.
We'll be right back.
This guy, Paul McKenna. Stick around.